Hello and welcome to this tutorial of helloHAL. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a natural language grammar for the helloHAL applications. In this case, it's going to be a very basic natural language grammar that will allow people to transfer funds between different accounts in a banking application. This requires that you've already installed the software helloHAL, and here I have it installed in my computer, and I'm going to go to the examples from helloHAL directory to the examples directory, and I'm going to go to banking one. Now, banking one is the most basic example that is provided with the software for beginners to get people started on the concepts of helloHAL. So we are going to open this file that is called bank states, and this is the file that is going to drive our grammar generation. Now we're going to build a grammar automatically. I'm going to show you how. We're going to use a tool, use GrammarPro. But what it is required is that you first set up this file that defines an exact request. Okay, in this case, the exact request is a transfer of funds. Now, a quick review of how this works is that the request will contain the action, the verb that we are referring to. In this case, is transfer, and then within that request, there are a collection of states. Those states are nothing but values that are expected for this action to be completed. The values in this case would be the amount to be transferred, the origin that might be from the savings account, and the destination that might be to the checking account. So when all of these states, when all these values have been captured, then the system knows that um, the transaction is ready to completion, and then it goes on to the confirmation. Now the way it works is that if the user does if the user says anything about transfer, the request will be triggered. But if the user does not provide any of these pieces of information, that state will be triggered. So, for example, the user might say, I want to transfer $500 from my savings account to my checking account. Well, the request was triggered, but none of these states would be triggered because the user provided all three pieces of information. But if the user said, I want to transfer $500 from my savings account, then request will be triggered, but then this destination state would be triggered because the user did not provide to where he wants or she wants to transfer the money. So let's now see how we build. Well, the one thing I want to tell you is that it all boils down to one thing. The user needs to be able to express themselves as far as this particular action, which is transfer, in many various ways. And the natural language grammar needs to be able to account for all these variations that the user may come up with. And so for that, it would be very difficult for a developer to account for all these variations that users may come up with. So for that reason, we use a tool that is called GrammarPro. Okay, now I've gone to the bin directory. That's where all the helloHAL tools are located. And the GrammarPro tool, the way we started is running this batch file. And I'm going to edit that batch file for you. So you can see that it's calling the executable and then it's passing a parameter with the configuration file. Now, so that means we need to have this configuration file ready. So why don't we take a quick look at the configuration file. I open it, and the only things that in this case that you need to be concerned about are these two entries. Note that they are pointing to the examples banking one directory, and then the other entry is states file. Okay, so notice that we are pointing to the file that I just showed you. That is this file, the file that has the definition of the transfer request. Is called bank states. Okay, so looks like our configuration file is good. We're ready to fire up to start the GrammarPro. Um, and so I'm going to go ahead and start it up. Now, GrammarPro, it does not look like a very fancy tool. It's just a console program. However, it's a very smart program because in essence, it's an expert system that by looking at your exact request and based on the on how you provide answers, it figures out how to build a natural language grammar that will be used by the system so that it can understand the user's requests. So we are the first question that we get here is about the action transfer. So and again, uh, remember it's first thing is looking at this part, and so it's asking us what are the different verbs that we would use for transfer. Obviously, one of the verbs would be transfer. We can also imagine that it could be some users might say move funds. Now, notice that I used a pipe delimiter to separate the different words. Okay, and the words have to be provided in lowercase. These words are called terminal symbols. Terminal symbols in a grammar are always in lowercase. Now, other users might say maybe deposit. Okay, so that's it. That's good enough for the illustration. Let's hit the enter key, and then the next question is asking us about generic the verbs followed by generic nouns. So we might say transfer funds. So funds is a generic noun. We don't want to we can say transfer $500, but 500 is not a generic noun. It's an actual amount. We'll get there in a minute, but we might say then transfer money or transfer funds or even make a transfer where in this case the transfer word becomes a noun as opposed to a verb. Okay, so now the Grammar Pro program has gone to the next step, which is now looking at the various states. But also notice that it's created a first portion of the grammar that allows to understand users the different ways they're going to say the word transfer. So uh, but in any case, we are now in the amount state, and and here we're going to say what an amount is. And note that it's given us two different types. We could have said, if it was, for example, the state type of chairs, we would provide here all the different types of chairs, but as terminal symbols. But we know that an amount is going to be a number, so let's just define it as number. And so the system will know that any number will fit into the concept of amount. Now, the next thing is asking us is for articles. Now, let's say, in this context, $500. Well, it would be strange in this context for people to say I want to transfer the $500 or I want to transfer my $500. So we're going to skip that and just hit enter. And then prepositions, like from, to, in, by. Well, those and any of I cannot think of any preposition that would apply here, such as from $500 or by $500. No, I don't see that. So I'm just gonna press enter, and then the next question is about what follows the amount, the concept amount. Well, and it's giving us the example of dollars. So certainly it would be $500 or bucks or maybe another currency like euros. So that's good enough. And now it takes us to the origin of um, the origin state. And well, what is an origin? Well, that's going to be our actual types of accounts. So I'm going to put savings, or it could be also checking. It could be credit card. It could be a loan account. You can imagine a number of accounts. So that's good for now. And then, do we have articles before those words? Sure, somebody might say, I want to transfer money from my savings. So the word my, notice it's in this case, it's asking us for either articles or possessive pronouns. So my is a possessive pronoun. So, and and how about articles? Would someone say, I want to transfer money from the checking account to the savings account? I think so. So we're just going to put the. I don't think people would use this or that. So that's probably good enough for now. And then would we use prepositions in front of the origin concept before savings or checking? Of course. Most people would say, I want to transfer from uh, checkings or from savings. So from is going to be for sure preposition. So that's good enough for now. And now, what follows the word savings or checking? Well, obviously, it's going to be the word account. Okay. So we move on, and now it's asking us about destination. Now, you can imagine that destination is defined um, exactly as origin because it's going to be, again, the different types of accounts. So, what are those accounts? Checking or savings. And then the only thing that is going to be different is the preposition because people will not say from in this case. That preposition was for origin. They will say to or into. So we define the same way. There will be articles the, and then they will have the pronoun, possessive pronoun my, and then for the prepositions we will have to or into. And then what follows again, the words in destination is going to be account. And now the next part of the Grammar Pro is it's looking at all the different ways and variations that these various grammars that it has built for us can be combined. This is what allows true natural language, complex phrases, longer phrases. And so it shows us all the various combinations and permutations that it found. It also has the ability to provide sample questions. There are situations that are fairly complex where we do not want Grammar Pro to provide sample questions. We will get that into in another tutorial. For now, it's going to be very illustrative to show those sample phrases that get generated from the different grammar rules, and it's going to help us to determine what rules are good and what rules are not. So we're going to say yes, we want to see sample phrases. Okay, so now now it's asking us, would it be common for a user to say $500 from my savings account? Of course, this would be very common. If the system might be asking the user, how much do you want to transfer? And they might say $500 from my savings account. So we're going to say yes. Then $500 from my savings account to the checking account. Well, that also sounds very normal. So we'll say yes. From my savings account, $500. That I would say would not be so normal. Most people would put the amount first and then they would say from or to they want to make the transfer. So I'm going to say no. Um, it's asking us if we are sure that we want to eliminate that permutation, origin followed by the amount. I say yes. And then the next thing that the GrammarPro does, it assumes that all the other grammars that are made up of this permutation should perhaps be eliminated as well. You can see that it's that is correct. One of the permutations that is shown us is origin, amount, destination. That means that people would be saying from my savings account $500 to my checking account. That is very unusual. So I'm going to say that yes, I want to exclude those rules, those permutations. And then to checking account $500. This is the same situation that we had before. So we're going to say no. I'm going to say yes, I'm sure. And then I'm going to say yes, I want to eliminate or discard the permutations containing the above rule. The next one, from my savings account to the checking account. Yes, that sounds very natural. To the checking account from my savings account. Well, that's maybe not as common because most people would say the from part first, but I'm not sure if it's really worth eliminating this rule, so I'm going to say yes. $500 to checking account, that would be yes. $500 to checking account from my savings account. Then again, this poses a question whether most people would say the to before the from, but I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And we're done. We're done building the grammar. So let's take a look at the grammar that has the GrammarPro has built for us. Okay, it is this file called user grammar. Okay, we're going to open it, and this is the natural language grammar that provides the various ways, allows for the users to say how they want to transfer in various ways. The other thing I want to note is that the GrammarPro has make a copy of the bank states file, and it has created a new one called states with grammar. If we open that file, we will see that it filled in each state with smaller grammars, embedded grammars. These embedded smaller grammars allow the system to be very specific, to focus on, when the users are specific about this particular state. But if they are broader, then we have that other broader grammar. So more about that in other tutorials. But for now, let's see if our new grammar works for us. And so what we're going to do is we're going to change the configuration file to make sure that we point at the new files that GrammarPro has generated for us. One is called states with grammars, and the other one is called user grammar. I'm going to save it, close it, and now I'm going to start the HAL server. Okay, just note that I'm passing to I'm editing the helloHAL batch file. Note that I have to pass that configuration file. Make sure you pass that configuration file. It has started for us successfully. So we're going to go ahead and now start the HAL chat tool. And so we get the question, hello, I am a banking teller. How may I help you? Okay, so let's see if our grammar works. Let's say I transfer money from my account, savings account to my checking. Well, it did understand that question. So it looks like our grammar is working for so far. How much would you like to transfer? Transfer $500. Okay, so it went to the confirmation, so it did understand. Let's cancel now, and now let's try something more, even more complex. We're going to provide everything, which is transfer $500 from savings to checking. Or let's do it the other way around. Um, since we already tried savings first, checking to savings. Okay, and it understands. So you can see that this was a successful grammar generation of GrammarPro, and you can also see the power of this grammar, how it can actually understand so many various ways for people to transfer money, and it was all built for us by GrammarPro with the user assistant. I hope that you understood this tutorial. Please take a look at the tutorials for more complex grammars. Thank you and have a great day.